Hey, 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 happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. Welcome aboard. Tonight is Wednesday, January 8th, 2020. This is episode 420 of The Daily Dope. Yes, I had almost considered maybe starting off the show by playing Everybody Must Get Stoned by Bob Dylan. And then I thought, well, I could probably do about 4 seconds of that before I get flagged for copyright violation. So I better not do that. Anyway, welcome aboard. If this is your first time catching the show, this is a very, very casual program. Just pretty much share the latest tabletop gaming news. I usually have some folks hanging out in chat. Get a little conversation going with that as well. It is not anything heavy. It is not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination either. But because it is live, chat is available on YouTube. It is not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do pay attention to chat. So if you'd like to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question or a comment, by all means, please chime in and I will do my best to respond. Sometimes the chat's moving pretty fast and furious, and I don't have an opportunity to catch everything that's just slamming on by. Anyway, do want to point out too that if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. If you do so, don't forget, ring that little bell, because not only will it notify you when the Daily Dope goes live, within about a minute or so, it'll also tell you when I post standalone videos, such as last night's unboxing and first look at 1862. Yes, this is a brand new release from GMT Games. It is an 18XX game. So, did an unboxing and first look at that. That video went up last night. I had a few things arrive in the mail today as well, which I've shot some video for. I will talk about that in just a little bit after the news. Gotta admit, it's a little strange we don't have anybody saying hello in chat yet. Haha, there we go. A gray day has popped in. I was just about to go take a look at YouTube, because every once in a while, it doesn't sync the chat up with the stream for some strange reason. There's been, I think, a couple of times I've done a show where I thought, oh, I guess there's nobody hanging out in chat tonight. And here, all these people are in chat. So, anyway, good to see you, Grade A. Thanks for joining me tonight. We know the Madman won't be in. He's got a game night tonight, right? Wednesdays are his game nights. So, anyway, it looks like, yeah, Grade A's like, I'm the only one here. It happens. It happens. We'll see who shows up. Anyway, do have a bunch of news tonight. A good variety of news. I do have a bunch of news from one particular company. So if you are not a fan of that company, when I get to them, I will tell you, and then you can go make a sandwich or go have an adult beverage, go walk around the block, whatever you'd like, if you don't want to catch that news, because it is quite a bit of news. Anyway, so without further ado, let's jump on into aforementioned news, because Q1 of 2020 is going to see the release of the storytelling game Orleans Stories from Tasty Minstrel Games. Here's the dope. Orleans Stories is based on the bag building mechanism known from Orleans, with this mechanism having been further developed into a storytelling experience in which players go through different eras and face different challenges. Broadly speaking, instead of focusing on the city of Orleans and trade with the surrounding villages, players are now settling, the Loire Valley. Players must farm and produce found villages and build fortresses and churches. They will experience times of prosperity and success, but also times of deprivation. They must defy hunger and plague, fight for their land, and perhaps conquer foreign lands to secure the lives of their settlers. In the end, however, there is peace and the joint administration of territories and villages. The game includes 2 stories, The First Kingdom and The King's Favor. The First Kingdom is an epic story that spans 8 so-called eras, and each era features different conditions and emphases. Sometimes knights settle down, with whose help you can conquer foreign territories. Sometimes the plague threatens to decimate the population of settlers unless all have worked together to develop medicine. The King's Favor is shorter, simpler, and more suitable as an introduction to the game. Over 5 eras, certain tasks have to be fulfilled by the end of each era, and those who fail to do so will drop out mercilessly. The threat of having to end the game prematurely provides a constant thrill, but all tasks are achievable, so that, usually, all players experience the end of the 5th era. But those who have concentrated only on the tasks will be punished, because at this point everyone's achievements will be compared in the king's castle, and you will receive victory points for territory size, buildings, goods, and coins. The different eras affect the perimeters of play as well as the rules of the game, creating new strategic possibilities. This challenges players to constantly adapt to current conditions, giving you the impression of experiencing a story, but unlike in legacy games, these stories can be repeated as often as you like. The changes from era to era require a new way of looking at things from a distance, but this is made easier for players by a story booklet in which players will not only find all relevant information and rule peculiarities, but also hints of how to prepare for the upcoming game in the form of a narrated story. Orleans Stories is for 2 to 4 players, ages 12 and up. That seems kind of low for what we've been talking about in the sell sheet info. Does play in 1 to 3 hours. Once again, that's another reason why I think ages 12 and up is a little low. But it will carry an MSRP of $79.99 when it arrives early this year. I do not have an exact release date just yet, but this does seem pretty interesting. Seems kind of cool. I wish there were more images I could share for this game that are officially from Tasty Minstrel Games or DLP Games, who it's actually originated with. Unfortunately not. So we've got Viper Dave is in chat. John Vogel has arrived. Dan from No Enemies here, and Flaming Huron as well. So yeah, it started off, it was like nobody was in chat, and then a Grade 8 popped in. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Chat's working. Like, thank goodness. Alrighty. So moving right along, next news piece. Oh, I should mention, I apologize for the glasses. I'm wearing glasses every few months. I like to take a few days, give my eyes a break from contacts, and I just decided to start doing it today. So I know there's some glare off the glasses and that, so my apologies. All right, moving right along. Following a successful Kickstarter, newcomers Galactic Raptor Games will be releasing Animal Kingdoms later this month. Here's the dope. In Animal Kingdoms, each player takes on the role of a house leader, battling to gain control of the 5 kingdoms. Cards in your hand represent noble beasts that have pledged their allegiance to you. Over the course of 3 ages, you must deploy your beasts to various territories, making sure that you adhere to each kingdom's decree to try and improve your influential position in the kingdoms. The house that gains the most influence by the end of the 3rd age is declared the one true leader of the realm. Animal Kingdoms also won the 2018 Cardboard Edison Award. So not only was it a very successful Kickstarter, it is an award winner already. The game is for 1 to 5 players, ages 8 and up, plays in around 45 minutes. It will carry an MSRP of $35 when it arrives on January 29th. Yep, we have so much stuff that's coming out on January 29th. I can't believe it. Unbelievable. So Flaming Heron says, I didn't even know you wore contacts. Figured you had 20/20 vision. Not at all. In fact, I don't think I've ever had 20/20 vision. Although as a small kid, I didn't wear glasses just simply because I hadn't gone and had an eye exam. I think I was around 12 when I started wearing glasses. Then I started wearing contacts when I was about 18. So, but I almost never wear specs. Almost never. All right. So A Great Day says, I just finished the CEO Top 10. For Board Game Geek. So, okay, I guess a musician might understand it. It's all Greek to me. Okay, moving right along. Currently up for Kickstarter funding is an intriguing-looking cooperative science fiction game. It's designed by Tony Go, and it's from a company called Tau Leader Games. I've got the dope on Deep Space D6 Armada. Deep Space D6 Armada is the standalone multiplayer sequel to, you guessed it, Deep Space D6. In the far reaches of the galaxy, a local cluster of planets has been invaded by a hostile regime. Players will take command of a starship and work together to complete missions while defending the system. Each player begins the game with their own starship with unique capabilities and basic crew. As you earn credits from completing missions, you'll be able to upgrade your ship and hire advanced crew members. Your crew are your dice, and players will roll them to assign them to their ship stations in order to perform actions during combat or to complete missions. Ship-to-ship combat in Armada involves managing your crew and ship stations. As your ship takes damage, your stations become disabled and require repair actions by engineers. Your crew is also susceptible to injury, and your medic actions will be used to revive them. Ships can be customized to your individual playstyle, whether you prefer to deal direct damage or support teammates by disabling enemy shields and stations. When the players have fully eliminated the threat, the sector will be saved. Hooray! What challenges face our captains, and who is behind all the terror? DS-D6 Armada takes the gameplay of Deep Space D6 and enhances it with ship upgrades, luck mitigation, missions, and cooperative gameplay, all while retaining the game's signature minimalist style. There is a short Kickstarter video. It's about 1.5 minutes long. Let's pop on in, take a quick peek.
When we discovered it, the universe opened up to us. But faster than light travel was a mistake. We traveled across the stars and far from home. We lost so much in the process. Compassion, empathy, trust. In their absence, we became divided. Now those who seek power are finding it in the void. Now war is our last hope.
Deep Space D6 Armada is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, plays around 60 to 90 minutes. The project is currently right past 400% funded. You can reserve a copy of the game for a $48 pledge, as has already been pointed out in chat. while that video was playing. Expected delivery is October of this year. So A Gray Day is pointing out that they have played the Deep Space D6. They enjoy it, and their kids enjoy it, and they have backed this Kickstarter. So cool. It is, yes, and as Dan from No Enemies here points out, it is plus shipping. So shipping is not included in the $48 pledge. So that is something to point out. So it seems like A Great Day knows Tony Go, the designer of the game. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. I wouldn't mind checking out the original Solitaire game. Sounds kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. All right, so as I mentioned before, some folks I think popped into chat. I do have some news from a particular company. There is a lot of news. So if you are not a fan of Paizo, now's the time. Go make a sandwich. Go grab a cocktail. Go kick back. Take a jog around the block, because this month sees a big number of Paizo Inc. releases for both Pathfinder and Starfinder. I've been talking about all the stuff that's coming in like March and April, and I did not talk about what's actually coming out this month. And you'll never guess what date it's all coming out on. Get ready, right? January 29th. I'm telling you, if you are a big gamer, you're going to be dropping thousands of dollars on January 29th, because it's like every game for the year is coming out. Well, anyway, so here's a dope what we got. First off is Pathfinder Lost Omens, Gods and Magic. No fantasy setting is complete without a pantheon of powerful deities for its characters to worship or fear. Whether you're a sneaky rogue asking the god of thievery for a blessing on your next heist, or a valorous crusader calling the might of your patron down upon the forces of evil, faith in the forces behind it are key to every character's identity. Within this volume, you'll find details on the gods and non-deific faiths of the Age of Lost Omens, from the perspective of their clergy and lay worshippers. You'll also discover new domains, feats, and spells to customize your character, and an exhaustive index of hundreds of deities from the Pathfinder setting you can worship. Your characters would worship, not you personally worshiping. And somebody's asking me about Compass Games. So that's Dan. I don't know anything about it, Dan. I'll finish this up. We'll talk. I've left time open for us to talk about some stuff tonight. So that is something that Dan can clue me in on. Sounds like a plan. Anyway, if we still have time after my 50 minutes of Pathfinder, Starfinder news. Anyway, this is an indispensable 128-page resource for both players looking to flesh out their characters' motivations and game masters aiming to bring the evil cults, zealous evangelists, and holy warriors of their campaigns to life. Pathfinder Lost Omens, Gods and Magic is an essential addition to any Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign. This will carry an MSRP of $34.99, and hardcover, the PDF will be available for $24.99. Then we've got the Pathfinder Adventure Path number 151, The Show Must Go On. Part 1 of the Extinction Curse Adventure Path. The Circus of Wayward Wonders has just arrived in the remote town of Aberton, and the player characters are the stars of the show. When the ringmaster turns up dead, spoilers! The fate of the traveling circus and its entertainers hangs in the balance, and the heroes must scramble to put on a successful show and find the killer all at the same time. Thankfully, they've got Spanky, Darla, Alfalfa, everybody's pulling their weight. Investigations only lead to more questions, and the heroes find themselves center stage in a dangerous prehistoric plot that threatens not just Aberton, but every inhabitant of the Starstone Isles. The Show Must Go On is a Pathfinder 2nd Edition adventure for 4 first-level characters. This adventure begins the Extinction Curse Adventure Path, a 6-part monthly campaign in which the heroes lead a traveling circus as they unravel a plot to eradicate all life from the Starstone Isles at the heart of the Inner Sea. The adventure also includes advice on how to run a traveling circus, new circus-themed rules, and a menagerie of monsters both wondrous and wicked. Each monthly full-color softcover Pathfinder Adventure Path volume, say that 5 times fast, contains an in-depth adventure scenario, stats for several new monsters, and support articles meant to give game masters additional material to expand their campaign. Pathfinder Adventure Path volumes use the open game license and work with both the Pathfinder RPG and the world's oldest fantasy RPG. This will be available in softcover with an MSRP of $24.99 and in PDF for $17.99. Then there's also the Pathfinder Bestiary Pawn Box, which was actually, the news came out about this pretty recently. The ferocious foes of the Pathfinder Bestiary come alive on your tabletop with this collection of more than 375 creature pawns for use with the Pathfinder role-playing game or any tabletop fantasy RPG. Printed on sturdy cardstock, each double-sided pawn contains a beautiful full-color image of a nasty monster from the Pathfinder Bestiary. Each pawn slots into a size-appropriate plastic face, making them easy to mix with traditional metal or plastic miniatures, bringing your Pathfinder campaign to stunning life. This carries an MSRP of $49.99. The PDF will be available for $24.99. Then there's the Pathfinder Weapons and Armor deck. Whether you're a player preparing for a dungeon delve or a GM equipping the town guard, you need weapons and armor at the ready. The Pathfinder Weapons and Armor deck contains cards for every first level weapon, armor, and shield in the Pathfinder core rulebook, as well as alchemical bombs, complete with statistics and descriptions. The 110 card deck also includes the rules you need to deploy your armaments to full advantage. With the Weapons and Armor deck, you'll always be prepared when combat breaks out. This carries an MSRP of $22.99. The Gray Day says Paizo must have bills to pay. Paizo's always got a bunch of stuff. We'll talk about Paizo after the news, too. Anyway, then we got the Pathfinder Flip Mat Castles Multi-Pack. Whether your players want to defend or storm a castle, Pathfinder Flip Mat Castles Multi-Pack has you covered. This set's 4 sides each feature a different castle, keep, or other fortification. Whether you're looking for a lonely mountainside keep, a shining castle to serve as home for a group of paladins, a dingy fort on the edge of the wilderness, or a bastion within some great city, you'll find a suitable map in this pack. Don't waste your time sketching when you could be playing. With Pathfinder Flip Mat Castles Multi-Pack, you'll be ready the next time you need a castle to come into play. This set includes 2 flip mats, each measuring 24 by 30 inches unfolded and 8 by 10 folded. A flip mat's coated surface can handle any dry erase, wet erase, or even permanent marker. Usable by experienced GMs and novices alike. Yeah, because I would think everybody can just write on stuff, right? You don't have to be experienced to use a marker. The Pathfinder flip mats fit perfectly into any game master's arsenal. On tabletops across the world, the flip mat revolution is changing the way players run their fantasy role-playing games. Why take the time to sketch out ugly scenery on a smudgy plastic mat when dynamic encounters and easy cleanup is just a flip away? This carries an MSRP of $24.99. If you want to print it out, you can get the PDF for $17.99. As I see Kabuki Kid has arrived while watching Jeopardy at the same time. Yes, the greatest of all time on Jeopardy. Then moving into Starfinder, we've got the Starfinder Adventure Path number 24. The God Host Descends. It is the finale of the Attack of the Swarm. The heroes have sent the Swarm into disarray, but the entity called the God Host still stands on the verge of completing its plans. To ensure an end to the threat, the heroes at last return to their overrun homeworld. Spoilers! But this time with the might of an entire military behind them. Only by finally defeating the massive God Host can the PCs break the will of the Swarm army and bring peace back to Suscalon. The God Host Descends is a Starfinder role-playing game adventure for 4 11th level characters. This adventure concludes the Attack of the Swarm Adventure Path, a 6-part monthly campaign in which the heroes fight back against a ruthless and nigh unstoppable alien invasion. This volume also includes an article on continuing the Adventure Path story with new threats, an assortment of new military vehicles, and a selection of new swarm monsters and other deadly threats. Each monthly full-color softcover Starfinder Adventure Path volume, say that 5 times fast, contains a new installment of a series of interconnected science fantasy quests that together create a fully developed plot of sweeping scale and epic challenges. Each 64-page volume of the Starfinder Adventure Path also contains in-depth articles that detail and expand the Starfinder campaign setting and provide new rules, a host of exciting new monsters and alien races, new planet to explore and starship to pilot, and more. It carries an MSRP in softcover of $22.99, available in PDF for $15.99. We've got the Starfinder deck of many worlds. Hold the galaxy of science fantasy worlds in your fingertips with the Starfinder deck of many worlds. Arriving in a new system and curious about who and what lives there? Want a unique home planet for your player character? Simply combine a few random cards from this 110-card deck to generate one of millions of possible worlds, complete with physical statistics, resident creatures, and much more, including intriguing story hooks that spur countless science fantasy adventures. Carries an MSRP of $19.99. And the final entry in the January releases from Paizo Inc. is the Starfinder Flip Mat Dead World. Whether the heroes are hunting down a body merchant guilty of selling corpses for necromantic reanimation, or exploring the ruins of an ancient civilization devastated by a natural disaster, no game master wants to spend time drawing every blasted wasteland and gutted building. Fortunately, with Paizo's latest Starfinder Flip Mat, you don't have to. This line of gaming mats provides ready-to-use science fantasy set pieces for the busy game master. This double-sided mat features the inhospitable surface of a planet inhabited by the undead on one side and the shattered structures of a ruined city on the other. Don't waste time sketching when you could be playing. With Starfinder Flip Mat Dead World, you'll be ready the next time your players visit the planet of the dead. And of course, a special coating on each flip mat allows you to use wet erase, dry erase, and permanent markers with ease. Removing permanent ink is easy. Simply trace over any permanent mark with a dry erase marker, wait 10 seconds, then wipe off both marks with a dry cloth or paper towel. Or, better yet, don't use permanent marker. So much easier. This does carry an MSRP of $14.99, available in PDF for $10.99. Woo! Man, lots of stuff from Paizo. I try to only do all the Paizo stuff in once a month. But actually, they've been releasing the news of what's coming out rather quickly. So we've got one final news piece, and the person who keeps talking about this is not in chat tonight, but this game keeps getting mentioned when we talk about getting started in role-playing games, specifically fantasy role-playing games, for free or at little cost. So I thought I'd share the dope on Ironsworn. In the Ironsworn tabletop role-playing game, you are a hero sworn to undertake perilous quests in the dark fantasy setting of the Ironlands. You will explore untracked wilds, fight desperate battles, forge bonds with isolated communities, and reveal the secrets of this harsh land. Are you ready to swear iron vows and see them fulfilled, no matter the cost? There are 3 ways to play. Guided. One or more players take the role of their characters while a game master moderates the session. There's co-op. You and 1 or more players play together to overcome challenges and complete quests. No game master required. Then there's solo. You portray a lone character driven to fulfill vows in a dangerous world. Good luck. What's included? Quest-driven mechanics and fast, flexible character creation. Story hooks and creative prompts to eliminate game prep and push your adventures forward with or without a GM. A setting guide for the Ironlands, a rugged and treacherous peninsula at the edge of the known world. Inspiring tools to customize your setting and fine-tune your gameplay experience. Extensive advice, examples, and options for exploring the story of your characters and their fateful vows. The Ironsworn digital package is free and complete. It includes a rulebook, character sheet, 75 printable asset cards, and extensive reference materials. The rulebook PDF is bookmarked, searchable, and optimized for fast tablet display. Portrait and landscape formats are included. The 270-page PDF is available absolutely free at DriveThruRPG. If you're interested in getting a physical book once you check this out, you can snag the softcover for $22.95 or the hardcover for $27.95. So, very sweet deal, very nice deal. I know we have talked at great length about people BSing people about, their role-playing games are too expensive, chasing everybody out, keeping people out. You guys are gatekeepers. No, we're not. Well, it's free. And a Grey Day is saying, hey, Ironsworn is great. Is it a Grey Day who's been talking about that? I could have swore it was Kevin Thorpe. Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, Grey Day, if that was it. So I believe we still got Dan from No Enemies Here hanging out. That's it for the news. I was going to talk about a few different things, but first of all, Dan was asking if I have any news on the Compass Games fiasco, and if Dan wouldn't mind sharing what that fiasco may be. I might reveal some things about Compass Games. Well, maybe I'm not joking. Anyway, so yeah, Dan, if you don't mind sharing that info while you're doing that, had a couple of packages arrive today. So first off, I was expecting Oceans, which is the new game that's coming from North Star Games, which is kind of along the lines of Evolution, right? So I get this package, and I'm like, oh, that must be it. I open it up. No, it wasn't. Something completely unexpected showed up. I got Bang the Duel, which is two-player Bang, which this came out I think 2015, 2016. So got this, as well as Bang the Duel Renegades, which adds a third player to the duel. This is brand new. I don't even think this is out in stores yet. So, anyway, I already shot unboxing videos. So, all I got to do is piece the parts together. I don't think I'm going to put it up tonight, though. I think I'll put it up tomorrow. Or maybe the day after that, because I also got another package, and it is the Starfinder Character Operations Manual. So I get this email from Aaron over at Paizo last night saying, oh yeah, here's what's going on. We want to get you physical stuff. We want to also, see if PDFs are okay. But yeah, we really want to work together with you. Sweet. So I was like, nice. I was like, very cool. So I already did a page through. So I got to just piece those together too. Just string that all together there. So anyway, so keep an eye out for those videos. All right, so we were going to talk about the Fantasy Flight Games deal. So Dan says that Compass Games seem to have charged the credit cards of all their pre-orders. Like everything that people have on pre-order? That seems really strange. So Dan says Artie is more eloquent in talking about Compass Games. I'm not sure who Artie is. Are you talking? No. Is it? Are we talking about from Board Game Geek? So, sounds like a snafu. Yeah, that would be a big snafu. And I see Ardwolf's Lair is joining us in chat. Good to see you. Welcome. That would... I don't know. I don't share news from Compass Games because they have never been very nice to me. I've approached them in the past because I have people ask me all the time, "Hey, you whoops," as I bang the mic. You cover war games and conflict sims and stuff like that. How come you never cover anything from Compass? And it's like, well, I've reached out a couple of times in the past, and I tried again about a year ago. And I was just here, excuse my French, but I was treated like an asshole. It was kind of like, what? And what they would do is they would always like send me emails about their stuff, and I sent them an email back, and I said, we're always sharing news from you guys. How come you've never, asked me to review any of your games? And it kind of like, I was like, wow. So I was like, you know what? I don't need you. It's like, give me a break. I'm like, so I see we've got Troy Durams, taking a guess on there, is popping into chat. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. So Dad says, I'm not the only one that they're not nice to. So whatever. I'm not gonna talk schmack. Figure, whatever. They fall into the category like Steve Jackson Games, right? Every once in a while, I throw a bone out and I might share a Steve Jackson Games news piece. Other than that, yeah. So like Art Wolf Slayer says, got nothing but good things to say. But that's completely cool. Like I said, not gonna sit there and talk schmack about Compass Games. It's just they've not been nice to me, and it's like in return I'm just like, I don't have to share news from you guys. There you go. Anyway, so we were talking about Fantasy Flight Games yesterday, and Fantasy Flight Interactive closing its doors, as well as the entire role-playing game staff being let go. So I did a little research, poked around a little bit. So it turns out Fantasy Flight Interactive only had one game that they were supporting, and it was the Lord of the Rings card game. And from what I understand, because you also have Asmodee Digital, which you see a lot of the board games that are ported over as like apps or PC games, stuff like that, from the companies that are under Asmodee's umbrella. They basically go through that. So that's basically how that one works. But with FFI, all they did was the game, the Lord of the Rings LCG, living card game, which I actually have. I think it's a pretty cool game. Of course, I think it was just released on consoles like a month ago. So much for support for that. But yeah, so they were all let go. And yes, it turns out pretty much everyone from the role-playing game division has been let go. Now, took a look at some stuff coming from people who had worked for FFG with role-playing games. And there was a lot of discussion basically saying that a lot of the work was actually being done by freelancers, and then the people who were in the role-playing game division would oversee that work. But just like Wizards of the Coast, most of the work for Dungeons and Dragons is done by freelancers, and there's only like a half a dozen people who are there full-time. So what this means for the role-playing games, though, I don't know. So I would have to assume Genesis is dead. That would be my guess. Genesis is probably dead. Star Wars, I don't know. So here's what I think might be going on. And I'm just an opinion, folks. Just floating out what I think might be going on. Because I know the holding company that owns Asmodee is actually shopping them around. Which is kind of funny because they've only owned them for, I think, a couple of years now. But I would not be shocked in the next year to see one of two entities purchase Asmodee. And it would either be Hasbro, which that's probably not going to be a good thing, because I know Hasbro was interested in purchasing them before. They were interested in purchasing them before that holding company. I forget, I think it's like aren't they like a French holding company or something? That popped in that owns them. So either Hasbro purchases them, or, this might sound really, really bizarre, Disney buys them. And the reason why I mention that is because you already see a lot of Star Wars licensed games from FFG, and we're starting to see a lot of Marvel stuff, not just from Fantasy Flight Games, but from other companies that are under Asmodee. So the new miniatures game, that the miniatures look so sweet. What Crisis Protocol, I want to say, I think it's called Marvel Crisis Protocol. That was a company that was established specifically for that game, and only that game. So we are seeing a lot of Marvel licensed games. In fact, we're seeing a lot of Marvel licensed games everywhere, more than I recall seeing ever. But yeah, I would not be shocked if we see Disney actually buy Asmodee. It's just a thought. Like I said, just floating these things out there. But usually, when you start seeing companies trimming the fat, it usually means that they're looking to try to sell. So, I don't know. Then again, it might be possible Asmodee's maybe thinking of just selling off Fantasy Flight Games. Have no clue. Steven Geisinger, taking a guess at that pronunciation, is joining us in chat. Welcome aboard. Good to see you. I believe this is the first time Steven has popped in to visit with us. All right, so anyway, that is pretty much it. So yeah, so Grey Day is pointing out that the whole thing from Compass Games was just a system glitch. But yeah, I could see people being pretty upset by that. Yeah, that would be like if you had orders into GMT for like 5 P500 titles, and then all of a sudden they bang, all charged at one time. You'd be like, what? Huh? What's going on? All right, so anyway, once again, sorry about the glare from the glasses. It'll only be for, probably through this week, the rest of the week. Just give my eyes a break from contacts every single day. All right, so anyway, want to point out, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to the channel. If you do, don't forget, ring that little bell. And not only will that notify you when this stream goes live, within about a minute, I'll also tell you when my standalone videos go live, such as my first look and page through at the Starfighter Character Operations Manual, and Bang, the Duel. Those two will be up very shortly. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Of course, everybody who joined me in chat, thank you very much for keeping me company. And we had some new folks pop into chat too. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. Of course, I will be back tomorrow. So for those of you join me in chat, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night as well. Always appreciate you joining me. And of course, if you watch after the fact, even if you're watching on Memorex, you got a soft spot in my heart for you guys too. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. I will be back tomorrow. And until then, happy trails. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. And of course, if you want to catch up on past episodes of The Daily Dope, check out this playlist. And if you'd like to see what YouTube's recommending you take a peek at from the channel, just give a click right over here. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and once again, thank you very much for watching.